given what we know about Gaddafi and his intentions and his capabilities and the armada of weaponry and cash he has under his disposal, do we think that he would sit and watch the emergence of democracies, democratizing countries around him without interfering and perhaps attempting deliberately to undermine them?
This is At Brookings, a weekly, in-depth look at issues behind the news. This week, the Libyan conflict. What is America's role?
The U.S. continues to support rebel forces as they seek to oust Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. After taking control following a coup 42 years ago, Gaddafi has been both a sworn enemy of the United States and an uncertain ally. Now the Libyan people are calling for new leadership and asking the U.S. to help usher in an age of democratic rule. Libyan-born non-resident senior fellow Tarek Youssef says the U.S. must see this through.
It would not be the first time in the history of Libya in the last 50 years that the outside world, the UN, the US, played a role in helping to shepherd the emergence of an independent Libya. In 1951, Libya's independence was essentially given and protected and sponsored and encouraged by the UN with the support of the outside world from day one and until the emergence of Libyan institutions that helped essentially navigate from there on. So Libyan's memory of outside intervention in the country when it came to state building, independence protection, helping to achieve Libyan aspirations, Libyan memories are actually quite positive on this.
Tarek, for many years, the United States government and many other Western powers have turned a blind eye to Muammar Gaddafi and how he ruled his country. Why now? Why is this going on now?
Imagine a scenario where Gaddafi stays in power and Libya remains under a prolonged period of isolation, sanction, deprivation. That will condemn essentially the Libyan people to poverty, to degradation, and to further brutality under the reign of Gaddafi. So given that we agree on the end game, it seems to most reasonable people where disagreements might exist are in the process of how you bring that about. And I'm of the mind that the US does have a major role to play here, partly because I don't think the Europeans alone are capable militarily, logistically, politically, or even on account of their historical presence and role in the region and them being former colonial powers. I don't think the Europeans alone can help manage this process or aid this process or assist the Libyans.
What does the U.S. stand to gain if Gaddafi is deposed?
This intervention in Libya actually could help reproduce and remake perceptions of U.S. interventions in the Arab world and the Muslim world in the last 10 years, which have been contaminated by illegality, a sense of ulterior motives, objectives that never really panned out, and with the U.S. standing in some cases against the will, expressed will, of important segments of the Arab publics. The intervention in Libya so far has been welcome, not only at the highest level of the official establishment in the Arab world, but in the cities of Benghazi, and Misrata, and elsewhere in Libya. I never thought the day would come when Libyans would not only openly welcome, but would ask and plead for outside intervention to help protect civilians. So the stakes here are important, I think, diplomatically, symbolically, politically. But Libya, let's also remember, is a major oil exporting country with vast oil resources that remain underexplored in a market that has been underserved for 30 years under a dictator. There'll be a lot of economic benefits to be had from Libya in the future.
Had it not been for the Arab Spring, would Gaddafi be in the situation he's in now?
I don't think there was a shortage of voices in Washington or in Western capitals that had not made up its mind that Libya's future rested in a succession from Gaddafi to his son Saif, and that this represented the best possible deal, not only for the Western world, but also for Libyans, and that the assumption was widely shared, I think, including amongst members of the educated elite on both sides, in Libya and outside, that Libya's best hope essentially rested on a transition with the Gaddafis still in charge, and possibly at the expense of more ambitious projects to achieve real Libyan national aspirations. Hence, I think the shift, this dramatic shift from embracing Gaddafi, bringing him in from the cold, and reconfiguring and repackaging him and reconstituting the image of the regime is one more reason why I think the Western world, including the US, has a moral responsibility to see to it that his departure is swift and that the Libyans are given a genuine chance of achieving their own national aspirations as they see them fit.
Why are the Libyan people so willing to spill their blood?
I thought 42 years had taken a toll on them and had broken them down. And many members of my own family and countrymen had sort of given up on the idea of a future of Libya without Gaddafi, or a future of Libya without Libyans. And yet right below that surface of defeat and despair, there seemed to be the spirit. And I think it's the best possible hope that Libyans have. If there is a vision and a future leadership that is mature, that has the interests of the country at heart, I think Libya's best days are yet to come.
Stay up to date with the latest research, learn about Brookings events, and search our directory of experts, all from your mobile device. To download Brookings for your BlackBerry, Android, iPhone, or iPad, go to brookings.edu/mobile.